Now, it might shock you to know that Australia has the highest electricity prices in the world. But what if you could spend less than $1 a day on all your household power?
It's the latest trend in renewable energy, with some households saving thousands of dollars every year. And it's all thanks to one small battery.
It's small but powerful. This is the battery that can power your home at night at no extra cost. Tesla's Powerwall battery stores solar power generated during the day, so you can use it on demand and free of charge. This week, Gold Coast man Clayton Linden made headlines after spending $80,000 to install 6 of them in his home. But while not quite on the same scale, it's part of a growing trend around the country.
If we look at this electricity bill here, just how much are you saving?
Look, it's 50% down on the same time last year, so we went from $300 down to $150.
Like Kerry Leach, who installed her battery earlier this year.
This is your home battery.
This is it.
How exactly does it work?
Well, the sun comes into the solar panels on the other side of the roof. It runs the appliances in the house, charges the battery, and what we don't use goes straight back onto the grid.
The battery takes care of 2/3 of her power usage.
Kerry, talk us through your electricity needs here.
Oh, yeah, we use the battery, it supplies us through the night, so we come home, we cook, we watch telly, we use the iPad, showers, dishwasher, the whole lot.
And you're not conservative with your usage?
No, we use it pretty freely, and in fact we use the heater more this year than we have previously because we had the battery.
These home batteries might look unfamiliar to us now, but not for long, with 1 million Aussie homes expected to have one in just 5 years.
Homes aren't the only ones taking power into their own hands. Paul Granger's hair salon in Sydney's Inner West became the first Aussie business to install a Tesla battery.
How much did this one set you back?
Roughly around about $14,000, so fairly large investment, but saving 30% annually will pay it off within about 4 to 5 years.
The storms that ravaged Sydney last year, one of the main reasons Paul decided to go renewable.
Huge storms blacked out a huge percentage of Sydney. We were one of the businesses that were down. We closed the salon for a couple of days because we had no power. While it was not the absolute reason, it was one of the reasons that made us kind of consider being a little more independent.
A power revolution could be on the horizon, with Tesla Motors announcing their plan to buy Solar City, one of the largest solar energy companies in the US.
At the pace that battery storage is progressing, I mean, this is a big step forward, and who knows, in a few years' time, if the right investments are made, then maybe a world without power bills.
Joining us to discuss this further is Reece Turner from Solar Citizens. Morning to you, Reece.
Good to be with you.
Of course, you know, one of the other great benefits of this system is the environmental benefit, because you can store your power. You're not accessing the grid like you were, so you're not relying on coal-fired power, right?
That's exactly right. And of course, for a typical household, your biggest environmental impact is the energy you draw, because Australia's got such a dirty energy system.
Yeah.
So when you put solar in your home, you're halving approximately the amount of energy that you take from the grid.
Yes.
With the advent of batteries, you can almost completely go carbon neutral in the sense of the energy used
all coming
for your
from your
household.
rooftop.
Exactly.
As well as over time it paying for itself in terms of what you're going to save on your electricity bill. Look, it can still be confusing. I'm one that is confused. We have looked into solar panels and think, oh, I don't know, well, I'm not comparing apples with apples. They're not all the same. How do people get on board if they want to get solar panels?
It's tricky because there are so many different retailers out there for solar, but the great thing is now that it's never been cheaper. You know, most people put solar in their homes under these subsidies a few years ago, but for people who want to put solar on now, I put it on this year, you pay about $3,000 for a system that completely electrify your house, and if you get batteries on top, then you become, you know, 100% independent of the energy system. Now, of course, a third of Australians rent, but there are now systems which are coming on board which enable landlords to put solar on the roof and then charge the tenant for the power that they generate, and that still becomes cheaper for the tenant, and it's a wise investment for the landlord.
Yeah, indeed. So, look, just because this can be very confusing for people. If you've got solar panels alone, without something like a Tesla battery, basically you're accessing the power of your solar panels on demand, which is great when you're running all your appliances during the daytime, or in peak sun periods, right? But outside of that, you still have to access grid for your excess power. With the battery, you store the power, so even outside those daylight hours or in those wet and cloudy months, you're using power that's already been generated by your roof.
Yeah, it's good to remember, of course, that your solar panels only work when the sun is shining.
Yeah.
Or when the sun's up. It works during cloudy times as well, but most people, some people forget that their solar panels aren't going to provide electricity at night, which is, of course, often when you use electricity a lot. You come home, you know, kids are home, you're cooking during the evening times, and that's when the Tesla battery enables your solar panels to become effectively 24/7.
So solar panels alone, you significantly reduce your carbon imprint. Solar panels plus battery,
means
you
that you're
almost virtually eliminate your carbon imprint.
Exactly.
Now, the government used to give a generous rate for putting power back on the grid, but that's about to change, right?
Yeah, and that's really important for about 160,000 households in New South Wales who are early adopters of solar panels. They're going to go and lose their feed-in tariff from 60 cents to 6 cents. And solar citizens who represent solar owners across Australia are arguing that we should see a fair price for solar, because 6 cents is about a quarter of what you pay from dirty electricity from the grid. So retailers are taking that, selling it to your neighbour for 4 times that price. It's not fair. If we had a system that could, you know, better price solar, then it would mean that people who can't get solar, maybe they live in a flat, maybe they've got trees, they could buy cheap solar off their neighbour. You know, win-win for everyone.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Reece, it really is very exciting, you know, the world of solar renewable energy at the moment.
It's incredible.
Fantastic.
You know, it's just taking off.
Yeah. Hey, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good